by the wonderful thumbnail, and I'm just waiting for the stream to go live because I don't see it on the player. Come on, YouTube. There we are. Right, so if the player just started for you, just going to say that again. So welcome to Adobe Live on a Wednesday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on your time zone. Today, I'm joined by the one and only Tony Harmer. And Tony, who, how, and why are you?
Well, who I am, also known as the Design Ninja. I am a designer of many years, an illustrator of many years, and other things. I'm an author, all sorts. Former backing dancer for Madonna. That's a joke, actually. But anyway, it was Ariana Grande. But anyway, moving on.
Second man on the moon. People don't know that.
Second man on the moon. Who, how? You would have to ask my parents, but I think we could work that out. And that would be difficult because I haven't got any. And as for the why, because the world needed me. That's what I was told.
Now we know. All right. Okay. Yes, someone just clone stamped Tony into existence. That's how it happened.
That's it.
When they invented Photoshop, it's just, let's do a Tony.
That was a byproduct of the selection tool.
Right.
I was a happy accident.
And of course, welcome everyone who's tuning in. In the chat, we have lots and lots of people saying hi. As always, if you're watching this anywhere but on Behance, do make sure to come on over to behance.net/Adobe Live. Once again, that's behance.net/Adobe Live. Hang on, I don't feel cool enough now. There we are.
Ah, yes. There you go. Your coolness factor has just gone up by 81%.
Can't see anything with that. Right. So welcome everybody who's
joined us. They come
for
the Photoshop, but they stay for the larks.
It's mostly just us laughing. I don't think they find it funny. We have in the chat... Let's just see. Oh, there we are. We have Tim. Who's that? We have Stephen, Stefan, Sean, and Sandrine, and Oliver, and Mustafa. Welcome. Michelle, and Linda, and Kirsty, and Jack, and another Jack, and Gareth, and another Gareth, and Christopher, and Annika, and Angus, and Reyes, and Amanda, and everyone who hasn't said anything in the chat yet. Also, because if you didn't, say hi. Let us know where you're joining from. Yeah, I am really excited about the stream today because it will be all about Photoshop compositing, won't it?
Yes. It will be a nice break for me as well because at the moment I'm doing so much technical work in Illustrator. This will be nice. It's good to agitate my brain into doing something. There we go. Yes.
If you're joining us from the German stream, by the way, and if you haven't, we also did some Photoshop compositing. This was my image, just so you know. So
yes,
not gonna show that one too long because we will go over to Tony's
my screen, which is currently vacant. Just going to. Do you know what, Tim? I am just going, just as a warm up here. What I'm going to do, I think, is create a new document. That's interesting. I must have a dialogue somewhere, so I'm just going to escape that. That's a great start. Photoshop went doolally on me. And
we will do some photo composting instead.
It does look that way. Interesting. Let me just collapse a window on my other screen because it looks like Photoshop's new document dialogue has gone out onto one of my other screens. It doesn't normally do that. This is a most
In the meantime,
curious.
I will have a look at the chat, and Kirsty says, it looks amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Stop it. And hello, we have some new people. Welcome. Really glad to have you live not every day, but every week from the UK with artists.
I am just going to.
While Tony is having some fun, perhaps you have to.
I am.
Yeah. Okay, there we are.
That's a great start.
My Photoshop does that, opens its windows all over the place, says Oliver. And Stefan says, yep, does that to me too. Multitasking screen. Sometimes it can help just click on the little house icon in the upper left to go back to the default start screen of Photoshop. That sometimes.
No, it has actually crashed. That's a great
Oh,
start.
well. Then
So there
I
you
guess
go.
we
We've
have
got
another look
spinny,
at
spinny beach
my
ball.
version. That's all right. Things happen. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you know it's live. So essentially what I did, or what we did together with Lasse in the German stream, we took suggestions from the chat, and in there we showed how you can create an image based off of random Adobe stock images, and it was really, really fun. We went into the flames filter. That was really cool. We replaced the sky. I also apparently added some babies to goats. That was a thing.
We're back on.
Oh, we're back on. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then let's
We're
quickly
there.
go
Thanks
over
for filling
to
for me, Tim.
your screen. Of course. There we are.
Of course, this normally happens to our guests who don't work together so much, and they go into a sort of a flat spin for a little minute, and we're just going in their ear. It's fine, don't worry. So, but anyway, I was just going to say, just as a warm up, I just want to see if I can remember how to generate a starlit sky from just a layer. So what I'm going to do in this new document is actually just fill this one with black. Then I'm going to create a new layer actually, or duplicate this one. Then I'm going to run a noise filter on it. So add some noise. I would like this to be, actually I'll go with uniform just for a minute, I think. Oh, mind you, no, that would be too much of a pattern. Right, so I'm going to stick with Gaussian, just there, like so. With me so far?
Very good pronunciation.
Yeah. Super. Oh, yeah, I heard someone on a thing from. Anyway, terrible. You should look up a name. What I'm going to do this non-destructively. So I'm going to add a levels adjustment layer here and clip that to the layer beneath, and then I'm going to be super, super harsh with it. I'm actually going to drag the black point right up, even over the halfway point, just there. And I'm also going to bring the white point down just to create some extreme contrast between the two. So super extreme, like that. I think that would work pretty well. Do you know what? Actually, I was working when it was backed off a little bit, the white point there. So I might do that. There we go. So now we've got some star-like shapes in there. I am then going to create a subsection of that, like so, as a selection.
Reminds me, I have to clean my screen a bit.
Yeah. And then I'm going to paste that down. Right, so I'm going to drop that layer down. Oops, a daisy. What I should have done was a merged copy, Shift Command C, and then paste that down. Then transform that, make it like big style. So I'm just going to bring that out to the sides, take it up to the corner, do that. There we go. Now, I said I was going to do it non-destructively, but I lied. There we go. So now I've got that. And back in for a little bit more Gaussian blur. Just there, not quite that much, just a shiny, shiny little bit. There we go. Something like that, 2 pixels would be fine. And then I could add, there's a couple of different ways I could do this. I could add that layer again, set to screen, like that, and then just jump that up a few times. Or not. There you go. That's how you can quickly generate a star field.
You can also go around that whole blurring thing if you start in camera raw and use the noise filter in there, because in there you can change size and roughness. And you have also a different way to get started, if
that's a good tip. I like it. Yes, a very good tip. So I do. But anyway, that's not the subject of today's main. So here's where we started. I started out with a brand new 1080 by 1080 canvas because it's for our Instagram. And what we've thought we'd do today is what I call a mini world. Yeah. So we're going to make a nice little mini world. And let me just reset the essentials here as well. So I've got everything in the right place. And then just do a bit of jigging around. So yeah, like a small world. There's Micro Worlds is a thing on Instagram by Blenny. You might have seen the things. And in fact, if I bring in a positioning image here, so what I'm going to do is just drop in another file here. So I'll place it embedded and get it out to my desktop and choose this one here. And in case you're thinking that's the same filthy desktop from the other week when I was on with Joe, no, it's not. The filthy desktop arrives by Wednesday of every week, but there we are. So something like this, we're going to have a slice of a world like so, but with actual world on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All good. Fantastic. It went very quiet then, Tim. I was slightly unnerved. I could hear no noise whatsoever. Yeah, so that's what we're going to have. Something like that, but made with world. So we're going to composite some world together there. And this thing here, I'm actually going to keep that handy. I made this in Substance Stager. So I brought this together, formerly Dimension, of course. Or actually, I ought not to say that. It's a completely different product, but it looks very much.
Also, Dimension still exists. You can still get it.
It does, yes. But this is the pro version.
The reason why I say this because it's just hidden, but you can still get it. If you enable show old apps in Google Creative Cloud, you can download that.
Nice. There you go. I did not know that, Tim. I thought it had just been
still there.
Quite away.
Together with
apps
that's
like very good.
Muse and Fireworks, you can still get all of them.
Oh my word. Right, wow.
But not for M1, of course.
Not for M1, no. Anyway, so I'm going to use this for position here. So I just put this together. It also gave me an idea of some light direction in there as well. That can sometimes be handy, but for now I'll just get rid of that. So that's the kind of thing we're going to make. I could actually also draw myself out some lines here. So if I actually create a brand new layer for this, I sometimes do this in Illustrator and bring it in, but I've got a project running in Illustrator, so I'm not going to pop into that just at the moment. So I'm going to get my brush tool. In fact, I'm going to Shift B that to get to the pencil tool and tap D here. So I'm doing it with the default colors, and then I'm just going to click and Shift click in a few places, just draw this out. So I've got a rough idea for position. Like so.
I have no idea where you're going with this, but I like it.
I'm just drawing myself basically a grid to work to.
It looks like a cursed Lego brick.
It does look like a
one you really don't want to step on at night.
Yeah. I know the meaning of pain. I've stepped on a Lego. Yes. Or stepped on Lego. It's not a Lego, nor is the plural of it Legos. It's just Lego. It's all things in one word. Yeah, so I've got myself a nice grid there.
Yes.
There we go. Right, so now I've got my grid. I can turn off this background here, and actually I can knock this one back to fairly light. It's just there for me to work to, and then start adding some elements to it. So I've got the Creative Cloud library, which seems to have vanished. So I'll go ahead and get that. And
there's a quick question from the chat. There isn't any plan to bring Dimension into the Substance universe. No, Substance universe already has an equivalent to Dimension, which is Stager.
Stager, yeah.
As to the question if Dimension will receive any updates, that I don't know. Yeah, we have to wait for them to let us know.
Yeah, we will. Back when they move into that section of other apps, by the way, it never particularly bodes well for application when it makes its way to that particular thing. It's the like the farm metaphor. Yeah, it's gone off to live on a farm. Dimension's gone to. Don't worry about Dimension. It's fine. It's just gone to live on a farm somewhere.
I mean, you can still get it.
So.
It's not like it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, true. So I'm going to pop this up on here. I'm also going to try and drop the opacity on this particular layer down a little bit there. There we go. Photoshop is glitchy. Just this morning, I don't know what's gone on there. Very strange. Okay, and something like that. I'm going to resize it and stretch it around again in a minute, but I'm just going to start off with that. Let's apply that transformation, and then I'm going to transform it again because I want to squash it around a bit. And I'm going to hold down the shift key so I can distort it to get it to where I want it to go. So something like that, I think, is going to work just fine. I do actually want this one to go off the edge, and you'll notice that the angle of the box that I've created is sympathetic to the image content just here. And I can make my way around this, and I'm going to roughly cut this out just for the moment. So what I'm going to do is get my lasso tool. Let's just zoom in a little bit first, and this side here is going to be covered up in a minute with something else. So I'll just very, very loosely work around here.
And Kirsty is reminding us that Photoshop had an update, that's right, about 9 days ago, and some pretty cool new features, including sky replacement and updates to the warp tool, which is super cool.
It did. There's a whole new series of skies that you can get. Absolutely. There are. And the way to get there, it's a good shout out, that is, Kirsty. Actually, if I just go to the sky replacement edit, oh, mind you, I'll need to do that when I've got something there. But there's a small gear. Click on the gear and choose Get More, and it will take you out to a website where you can download those libraries of skies. And there are some very, very cool ones.
It's almost like I could show this.
It is almost like you could do that, actually. You do that.
Oh, let me just get an image with the sky. Oh, there we are. Let's just quickly go to Edit, Sky Replacement, and click on, wait for it to think, and there's a gear icon. Get more skies. There we are. And then you get blue skies, night skies, sunset, and spectacular. And of course, you can pick any of them and have a wonderful edit to the image, which I already did, if you happen to know. Wonderful. Anyway,
there we go.
Back
to
you.
Back to me. Good
and
stuff.
And Maddie's joining us. Hello.
Mads! Hey, Mads. Fantastic.
No, I just want to have a play with all the different skies and see what works and see what doesn't.
See what works for you. All right, this I can come across and fix in just a little bit. Actually, do you know what I could do here is I could try the object selection tool in lasso mode. I'm just going to go around this sky here and see what sort of job it makes picking that up. Let's have a quick look and see. Beach ball's never a grand idea, is it? Yeah, no, it didn't do a great job of that. So there we are. I wonder if I could break sky replacement by getting it to mask that light out for me. But anyway, not to worry. I think I'll just go ahead and paint it out. That'll be the easiest way.
I mean, you can use select sky. You don't have to use sky replace.
That's true. I'm just wondering if it's going to. I'm just wondering if it's going to break that with that just there. Let's have a quick look. Oh, do you know what, Tim? That was a worthy thing. It did.
It's almost like it was designed to do that.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of fluffy areas around there, but given that I'll be painting a cloud onto that later on, or some cloudy stuff, that works pretty well. Not bad. Thanks, mate.
Nice.
Good stuff. All right, so I'm going to go across to a brush. I'm going to choose a soft ground. Let's go pressure opacity and choose that. And then I'm just going to brush down in this area here. It might be or not. I'm wondering if it's better for me to turn that off so you can see more clearly where I'm actually working.
And Jackie has a question. How did Tony quickly add that to his mask? I think we're just painting it with a lasso tool. And
with the sky replacement bit, is that what Jackie's asking?
Maybe.
So the way I did it was when I had the selection, my background color was black. So I just hit delete when I was focused on the mask, and it went ahead and deleted that. I could do it again with this bit just on the right here. So if I just, in fact, there's a fringe here. So I'm going to get rid of the fringe, switch to my lasso tool. Just there, I'm just going to bounce into these little bits here, just all bouncy, like that, and go around there. So I've got a selection. Now my foreground color now is black. So I'll hit delete, but I'll hold down the Alt or Option key to do that. And I'm also focused on the mask. And that's how I did it.
There we are. And Jackie says, yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the bit that I was after just there. This bit on the left-hand side here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to bring my grid up on top so I can see it slightly better. Just there, perfect. Right, so I'm going back to the mask here. So I'm working almost exclusively in the mask at the moment, and I'm going to switch to polygonal mode with the regular lasso. So I'm holding down the Alt or Option key and clicking. Going to polygonal mode, just there, and then down. Actually, I'll go across there, like so. And again, just quickly mask that off, like that. The side here I'm not too worried about because that's going to disappear shortly anyway. Right, so, and it also, if I really, really needed to see this thing on top as it is just there, I could change the blend mode to multiply, and that would improve its appearance, but I'll turn that off for the moment. I'm going to rename this Backland, as it just changes the incredibly long title bar. Let me just undo that. Right, can you see the title bar there is based on all the keywords in the title from the Adobe stock image. So just changing it to something simpler. Backland is all I can think of. Just that, yeah, it works just a bit better.
Or if you want a few more at home, you can rename it to Untitled One, Layer 1 copy.
Untitled One, Layer 1. Yeah, that would be really good.
Makes me
Let's
feel
bring in something else now. Let's have a quick look. I could have sworn. Oh, I did. Right, okay. So here we are. Another stock image just here that I'm going to use for this side. Just there. I'm not sure if this is in the same landmass, but it looks kind of very, very similar in a lot of ways. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that in like so. Okay, just there.
Julia is asking you to put some corn in it.
Enough with the cornography. So, let me just invert that.
I don't love it.
Tim say, is that our Julia, is it? Julia of the Seegers?
Yeah. Lord Julia.
Yes, Julia of the Seegers. So I'm just borrowing what I want from here, not particularly worrying too much. I think I might have to bring in some other rocks that I wasn't really planning for. So let's go back to the mask just here and fill that with black just to hide that stuff. Ooh. Yeah, I think they would work together, I think. Yeah, go on.
Gareth is asking a very important question. Can we expect a waterfall of one of the edges?
I'm not going to put a waterfall in today. Do sometimes.
I'm pretty sure I know what his next question would have been. Are you going to animate it in After Effects?
No. There you go. That I can successfully answer in just one go. Sorry, Gareth. Now, see what I want to do here, right? Let me just go ahead and I'm actually going to store that, I think, or no. What I want to do here is I'm going to carve away some of this stuff here. Okay, and fill this with rock that will make this face like so. Okay, so there's going to be rock down this side. Now I could also, if I just load this mask as a selection, just there, go to the other mask, get a paintbrush, and quickly paint that out. Let's invert. There we go. There we go. Let's paint that out like that. If I change the brush to a hard round brush with pressure off, that'll be even quicker. Do you know that silence is really, really unnerving? I'm so used to hearing your breathing.
What? Huh? Well, I turned on the fan in the background, so to mask it out,
okay. Is it warm over there?
Yes, quite warm. And
is it?
Julia says, Russell says, bitte Russell, bitte. Yeah,
Hi,
I know
Russell.
I know it's very quiet without me relaying all the instructions, everything you have to do. Because when Tony is working, usually I sit in the background. Okay, now Control T to transform.
I'm just a puppet. I'm just a puppet of Tim's cleverness.
There's some background music. It's just very quiet, and Tony can't hear it, obviously. And now they're accusing me of the of upping the After Effects counter. And you know what I have to say to that?
No, go on.
Boom. Oh, can't see that. Well, close enough. Anyway.
Right. I'm rasterizing this layer because I want to actually carve some of it away.
Yes.
So I actually want a square. Just hit. Whoa. Easy, tiger. Interesting. Oops, a daisy. I wanted to transform the selection as well. There we go. Like that. Select the inverse, and I'm actually going to delete that. Then I'm going to transform this. It should have got rid of everything on the layer. See, it hasn't. It's still that little bit just there. So I'm going to move it and then grab that little bit as well and get rid of it. Good. Then I'll transform this one. So I'm going to hold down the Command key, Control on Windows, so that I can go ahead and affect a little bit of distortion.
I mean, there is a way to get around that issue of having pixels that are off screen, but it's quite destructive, where you just crop the entire image.
Destructive, yeah.
Ooh, I like this.
There's another way I could approach this, which might be worth actually looking at. I could have kept that rectangle as well.
Oh, well.
So I just want the lit bit just in the top right-hand corner there. I do want it to have some lighting.
And Gareth is asking, is it still Masterclass Wednesday? He should have time for waterfall. You don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, Gareth. You don't know what you don't know, what you don't know, what you don't know. And is that Dunning-Kruger?
Yes, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, I guess so.
Well, let's get back to the story.
Yep, no tangents allowed. Be a good
Water
idea
on the
to save
floor.
this right now.
This subject right now.
Boom.
Well, okay, I do what you say. Just thought I'd
Sorry?
mention it. Well, I guess I will do what you say. Just thought I'd mention and done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were carrying on with the lyrics. Nice one.
Thank you so much.
Nice one. I'm going to do a quick search on Adobe Stock for Undersea.
From inside Photoshop. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Crazy what you can do these days. Oh, it's got divers in as well. See, that would work if I had the lit bit in a different portion. Ooh. Oh, that's no good. I might actually bag that anyway. Although I'd like rocks just there. What I could do, I guess, is I do like that. So I'm actually going to license that and bring that in. So that will come into this library. And I'll go ahead and add it to the mini world group. these are all the different images we've used. There's Flugelhorn Direct. Just they're the ones we've used over the last year, Tim. So, right, so I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to bring this in. Then I am going to flip it horizontally. Just here. And I'm then going to distort this one into place as well. I'm going to bring that in like so. So around about there.
Welcome in, Biola.
Who have we got in now?
Biola, I think.
Oh, Biola.
Yeah.
Welcome. Cool. I've been out and about scoping out new guests, Tim. I know.
What kind of guests?
Cool ones.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't expect it otherwise.
Yeah. Cool guests. Yes.
What was the... Jackie asks, what was the shortcut for distorting, please?
Hold down the command key on a Mac or control on Windows. And yeah, and that's it. Just activate the corners. Just there. Do you know what? I'm tempted to show you a different way of doing that.
Go ahead.
I think I will, you know. I think I will. Let me just undo that and actually get rid of that. And what I'm going to do is borrow. I'm going to bring it in. I could have actually reset the transform thinking about it. I'm going to rasterize this once it's placed. I know. Scary. I'd need to do that anyway because I'd need to touch out all of those speckles in there. I'm just going to select a chunk of it like so. I'm going to copy that onto the clipboard. Okay. And then delete that layer. I'm just going to paste it just to make sure it is there. It is. Undo. So I'm going to introduce a whole brand new layer just here. And I'll call this front right. Like so. And then I'm going to go up to the filter menu and come down and choose vanishing point. Do zooming in on that corner just there. You can see how bad that grid actually is now. But anyway, not to worry.
I had a sneaking suspicion that you would go into the vanishing point filter.
Did you?
Yeah.
You would have been correct. You would.
So essentially what you're doing now is you're telling Photoshop how the perspective essentially is made in this image, because Photoshop doesn't know.
That's right. And Photoshop here may well change the grid color because it might actually tell me that it has no clue what I'm actually trying to do. It might do that.
As always.
Yeah, as always. I'm just going to do some tweaking. Like this.
Color.
Like that. When you do that, if you do that or it goes red, yellow's going, kind of think that might work something. But if it goes red, it's like going, I have no clue whatsoever. Just there. Can you see that?
But I have no idea what Tony's doing. Yes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. True enough. Do you know what? If this was working on an actual image underneath it and you've got these things dead right on here, you could always hold down the command key or control and drag a perpendicular grid away from that one. So I've done that just now, and then I'm going to hold down the option key and swing this grid into place because this isn't a real thing on here. It's struggling with finding that, but you can actually do that if it was an actual image, and you could create another plane like so. Now, I'm going to leave that on there anyway. It's not going to hurt. Oh, man. Now I'll go back into it now that I've got the grid, but at least I know it's saved. Oh, no. Go on that plane and paste.
There we are.
And then drag this on. There you go.
Ooh,
So I can add that really quickly around those places like so. And it might be an idea to transform that as well. So Command T can do exactly the same thing. Here can transform it around. Drag it. The only thing is with this is that you have to be able to see the transformation points. That's the one shortfall in this whole thing, is that you have to be able to see those things for this to work properly. And that's a shame, because there you go. I don't think that's too bad. I mean, really, it should be lighter over on the right-hand side.
What is the difference between flip and flop at the top in the filter?
Who's asking that?
No,
That's
I
an
was asking
interesting
that
question.
because I just saw it at the top. When you had the transformation tool selected.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. Flip is left to right. Flop is up and down, I believe.
Oh, okay.
We can just check.
There we are.
Yeah. But it's got nothing there to play with. That's the thing. If I paste it down again, right, flip, there you go. Goes from left to right, flop, top to bottom.
Nice.
There you go. So now one of these sides, you see I've got more there than I actually need, but because I was just playing around with that to make it work. But that is a way you could do it potentially on there. I'm not going to use it though, because it really does need to get lighter on that right hand side. So I think having it on another layer is super handy. Or shall I persevere with it, Tim? You decide.
I'm just looking at Julia's message where she said, Russell is gone. He thought you would talk about composting today. Now he's disappointed.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, no, we're doing composting on Sundays. That's what we're doing. Composting on a Sunday. Not today. Cool. So what I could do here as well is add an adjustment just there. If I go ahead and go for brightness contrast, I'm also going to clip this to the layer below, so it's only going to affect that particular layer. And dip down the brightness just there. See that? Working pretty well. I mean, there's going to be rock on this side anyway, so but now I've got those two things together. There will be some water, but that would actually darken that side down, so it has some actual dimension like that. There we go. Anyway, that's a long journey for something that isn't actually going to hang around. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And actually, I'm going to tear a chunk off of this anyway, because it will have rock just there. And this is rasterized, so I can go ahead and delete it. Or if I think that's going to be an error to do that, because I might want to adjust it, just mask that a bit away. So you can see that I've got a landfall thing going on there. In fact, I think the land would probably, as land tends to, come out just a little bit further, like that.
Maddie's just talking about the art director sounds. I think, Maddie, if you're just talking about them, I think the stream might be lagging behind. So if you just check the clock at Tony's screen and see if it matches yours, then you know if you're on time or not. Unless you're still commenting about that for some reason. Well, then that's okay.
Didn't hide my time bar, did I?
You know, that sometimes happens when you watch a stream and it turns out you have been lagging behind like 20 minutes. They're just now responding to your questions. Like, wow, they're taking ages to respond. Like, oh. Yeah. So, Maddie, see you in 20 minutes then, I guess. When you're hearing this in 20 minutes. Oh. Right. Okay. So matching the lighting, of course, very important. And I can see you're painting in some light, which is super lovely. How are you planning on working out the beach part, the underground part of that?
I'll be doing that in a bit. I'm going to drop some yellow in there so you get a sort of a fall off from the beach. And what I could do is add a new layer, switch to a pencil, switch to color, I did wonder about bringing my sketch rough in here for this, because I did do one. So in this region here, around here, this will have a sort of a yellow fading into the blue. Yeah, there'll be slightly more of it on this side.
Yeah.
There, like so. In this area here, this is going to be deep like bedrock.
Pretty
just
deep,
there.
right?
In fact, you know what? The bedrock should perhaps go to that point here, because in this area here, I'm going to find some sea floor and bring that in. Just there. Okay. So the rock will go down here. Is this helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rock will go around there. Up here, I'm going to find an aeroplane, and I'm favouring a Cessna, either that or a Piper Cherokee.
Right.
And possibly a boat, and then I think an obligatory whale just down here would be nice. Yeah, turtle's going to be pretty small for some idea of a scale.
Could be a large turtle. I don't think we are.
The Legend of the Giant Turtle. I could probably put a little turtle in just
artistic
there.
license, I suppose. I mean, it's a square world. What do you expect?
That's a very good point.
I don't think anyone questions that this would be realistic. And Kath Redstone says, this reminds me of Tracy Island, amazing design. And Misha says, yes, that is helpful. Of course, unless you're colorblind and you can't see red and green. Well then.
There's enough contrast in there in the values though for you to be able to see it. So yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be good on that. And I could actually check that, Tim, from here.
Oh.
If I went to view and changed to proof colors and then changed, right, my proof setup to color blindness protanopia, actually, there might not actually be enough contrast there. That was me mouthing off. See, it's always worth a look. Let's have a look for deuteranopia. Yeah.
That's not really better, is it?
No, it's a little bit better, but still not great. So I should actually improve the contrast of that layer. And do you know how I'm going to do it, Tim?
Hue saturation.
No, I'm basically going to go for a very, very, very light orange, like so. And then I'm just going to fill the colours like that.
How did you do that?
And that, huh?
How did you do that?
I can tell you in just a second. I'm going to switch back to my, there you go. So there's now enough contrast in there, I think.
There we are.
But if not, I'll go back to my colours and this time I'll do it, show you how I did it. So I chose a colour that I knew would contrast well with the background. Okay. And then to fill only the pixels that have already a colour on a layer, you hold down Shift, Option or Alt, and then hit Backspace, and it fills it with that colour. So Alt Backspace will fill a layer universally, but if you add in the Shift key, then it just goes ahead and fills only the pixels that already have a non-null value.
So you don't have to lock transparency first or select it first?
No, just do it.
Nice. And Biola says, this is fascinating. Sean says, good tip, new to me. There we are.
There we go. Every now and then, one of those pops out. So something like that. I'm tempted to do sort of a giant killer turtle now. I've got in the back of my mind what I can see is two giant killer turtles. But, although turtles wouldn't be killers, would they? So I'm going to switch to a brush. I've just seen something that's bugging me just here. I just need to resolve this bit first. Just there, and change my brush size. You know how I'm doing that, right?
Yes.
Good. That's because you were
with passion and care.
Passion and care. That's the way it works. Got lots of fringing just there.
And if you also,
there is a way.
If you're colorblind and you can't see red, you can also change that color overlay to a different one. So you don't have red when you use the HUD color brush picker.
You can, and you can do that in the preferences.
Yes.
It's yes, it is. I think it's in interface, isn't it?
I think at the cursors, maybe.
Possibly.
There we are.
Yes.
Brush preview.
There you go. Brush preview color. Nice one. Let's pretend that little bit just there is some fringing.
Yes.
There's a way that you can actually get rid of that. You know, what I'm going to do. Sorry?
There are several ways how you could get rid of that.
There are several ways, but there's an unexpected way that you can get rid of it. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on that layer. I'm just going to copy it. Okay, and I'm going to paste it. So it's in the same sort of place. Oh, I should have copied it with the mask value. Anyway, do you know what? I'll actually just do it here. So I'm going to just jump that bit up to the layer. I'm just going to select the mask here as well, so I can just quickly mask off my new bit just here. Oh man, honestly, today's been wacky. I'm on the pixels now. Lordy. There we go.
There we are.
Right. There we are, finally.
Sometimes it just
Right,
takes
let
an
me just
extra
apply.
second. Yeah.
Oh no, man. Let me just apply that mask. So I've got it on there. Right, what you can do is you can blur that out. Blur, yeah, you can use Gaussian blur on it. Why? Which way were you thinking?
No, go ahead. I don't know that way yet, so please go ahead. Oh, I see.
You can do that. Then you can switch it to a blend mode like overlay. Yeah, or soft light sometimes. You're seeing the underlying thing, that's the thing. Right, but you can do that. You can blur it out.
Possibly even color, something like that.
Color is a good way to do it as well, which was going to be my next stop on there. However, it does affect.
Yeah.
Go on.
The way I would have done it is I would have selected the layer masked by just clicking on it.
Yeah.
And then I would have gone into the maximum or the minimum filter.
Maximum, minimum, that would also work as well.
I think minimum would be the one you want.
Yeah. We can do that if you want.
Unfortunately, of course, you would also, I guess you could select part of the layer.
You can make a selection and target in there. So you could, I'm focused on the mask. So if I go back to there, I have a selection, filter, other, minimum.
There we are.
There you go. And just dial that down to.
Of course, this is essentially the same as going to select a mask and contracting or expanding the selection.
Using refine.
Or going to select and expand or contract. So many different ways.
So many ways.
If you want to be really cool, you could rasterize the layer and go to edit, I think matting, is it?
Mm-hmm. Defringe.
Defringe, yeah.
Layer.
Or layer.
Layer.
Matting, yeah, there we are. Layer, matting, defringe.
Yeah.
Not sure if that works with the layer mask. I don't think so.
So many ways.
Anyway,
hoo-ha.
Oh.
So I'm going to use a couple of these, I think. Use this natural stone texture. And I'm just going to distort that straight away. And there, if this, by the way, ever goes wrong and you apply it, because this is a smart object on here, if it ever does go terribly, terribly wrong, and you think, oh no, I can't, do anything with it. So if I just apply that, you can always go to the layer, provided it's a smart object, and then you can choose reset transforms from the drop down just there. So it should be there. There you go. Reset transform. It'll take it back out to what it was before.
Because smart subjects use smart objects.
Yeah.
Right on. We have about 40 minutes left. So if
That's
you have
right, we'll
any
have enough time to do another one.
If you have any questions in the chat, might as well add a waterfall. Let us know by joining the Behance chat. That's on be.net/Adobe Live. Once again, that's be.net/Adobe Live. That's where you can join the chat. Say hi. Let us know where you're joining us from. If this is your first time joining, do say hello, and we'd love to chat. And yeah, just have a nice conversation.
Cool. I've decided to do something slightly different than I was going to do just here. So I'm going to actually create. Hi.
Hello. Thanks for joining.
And who was that? Julia?
Jahid.
Another Julia. Jahid. Hi, Jahid.
And kindly asking, please reply. Okay. All right.
I'm just going to do this very, very roughly for a second.
Probably just wanted to check if this is actually live.
Yes. Get rid of that little bit just there.
Unless, of course, we
That's a
anticipated
quick
that
mask
you would
mode.
join.
There we go. Right, so all I'm going to do right now is go ahead and create what I want here. So
Poor Tony, trying to work while I get in all the fun. No, Jade. So, I know that you're a freelancer and that you really like some people to have a look at your work, but the way you do it is not by asking like, hey, look at my work. The way you do it is you go to other people's projects and comment on theirs, and not with just, hey, look at my work. You critique their work and say nice things about that. See if they can do anything better. Like, hey, I like this part about your project, and I really enjoy this part. And maybe, if that person also wants, they would have a look at your work. But just asking in the chat, like, hey, look at my work, usually doesn't work. And of course, if we are asking for portfolios, then we will let everyone know by putting a portfolio review tab at the top of the chat, and then you can submit. Anyway,
back in La La Land. What I've done here is I've created a new group just with this layer in it at the moment, and I've created a mask for that group. So anything that I mask, will automatically be masked by the group just there. So at that level. So if I wanted to drag in something else like this sandstone, this time I dragged it directly into the layers panel just here, and I'm going to use stapler accident finger set to locked ratios. I think that was where we properly hit it off with stapler accident finger, wasn't it, Tim?
I still think it's so funny.
Back at the beginning of our friendship. I've noticed you mention it. I've noticed you mention it on a few different occasions on the German stream.
I just need a good translation for that.
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I don't think there is one. But hey ho. Right, let's go ahead and get that. Are they enjoying this, Tim, by the way? I have no idea about their level of enjoyment.
Oh no, they're saying, God, this is awful. I don't want to see Tony anymore on the stream.
I should stop. Yeah.
And that other guy without the beard, that's terrible too. No, our beard just joined us.
Yeah.
And they're laughing. All right. And they're saying, yes, they are also, some of them are also working at the same time. So that's right. If you want to have this on your second monitor, that's totally fine. Continue your work and try to concentrate while we text you some weird messages in the chat.
I might need to do a little bit of adjustment in there. There's something else to go in the bottom here anyway. I've got some striated.
Yes, Bjorn says this is fascinating.
Yeah,
Glad to hear that.
some striated rock that I want to put in there as well. So I'm going to bring that in. Now this one's going to need a little bit of work on it separately. It also needs to be a lot smaller. Yeah. At least to start off with.
I mean, those are things you normally don't think about, like the different layers and structures underground, unless you're a geologist.
Yeah, but they are things that I think we understand when we see them, and it adds a level of, this is an illustration, right? This is so it's it does add a level of believability to it. You can't think, okay, right, that is going down to that actual bedrock, rather than just doing that. Now,
that's what we call research.
Yeah. There's actually one of I just did Creative Pro Week Illustrator event last week, and in that I used a file from one of my LinkedIn learning courses that had my secret submarine hideout on it, and it wasn't entirely dissimilar from this, apart from it had like a nice little forest and a car parked next to a log cabin. But when you went into the log cabin, there was an elevator shaft going down there, and then there was a big work area with loads of minions working in it, not the yellow cartoon ones from Despicable Me, just like underlings, as if such a thing existed.
Just like the Adobe Studios.
And a mounting platform to get into the submarine, and then a pipe with the submarine coming out of it. And if you really, really, really need to see it, I can show it to you, but or I can have a good go.
And we have another hovering art director in the chat. Gareth says, I know it's not finished, but then don't say anything yet. No, just kidding. But technically, the C badge should show through somewhat, and the water should get darker.
It's going to do that.
Just you wait, Gareth.
Were you taking a nap when we mentioned that a little bit there, Gareth?
A little mandatory nap.
It's Gareth on nap time.
I knew that, he said. Yeah, of course I do. No, I was working.
Oh.
Work. Earning money.
Work.
Come on.
Yeah. That's what some of my grandchildren do, that. I see. Say, oh no, Grandad can't do that right now. Granddad's got to work, and go, oh, work, boo. That's not an ethic I like.
Dollar bills, yeah. Also, this doesn't work for the UK one. Pound, bib. No, that doesn't work.
There we go.
Oh, Gareth.
What's he doing now?
Spamming pound signs in the chat.
Oh, is he doing sort of a swearing variant? Is that
No. Just
No?
instead of posting dollar signs, it's
I see. Now, really, what I should do here as well, is I should convert that to a smart object. So I've got the group and everything in there, but that's so I can tweak it a little bit. And what I might do is use camera, because I've been very, very good. I've been a very good boy and not used too much camera raw like I normally do in there.
why are you saying that's a good thing? I like camera
Because
raw.
I'm always like straight into the camera raw stuff. Like, it's like camera raw. It's like I'm. It's like I'm sponsored by Camera Raw. Today's Tony is brought to you by Camera Raw.
Editing a picture, camera raw. Editing a movie, camera raw. Which, by the way,
Do
you
everything in
can
Camera Raw.
actually do. You can actually color grade using camera raw. Editing a
This is
podcast.
so
Camera raw.
good.
Making a pizza. Camera raw.
Studying medical image. Camera raw.
raw. Actually, that would probably be helpful. Just add some dehaze and some clarity. There we are.
There you go.
And Gareth says no, he has a new job, hence why he's not around. And to know you,
congratulations!
Congratulations. What are you? What kind of job is it? Resident After Effects counter reminder? Is After Effects involved in that job? Let us know.
I would have thought so. For a man of Gareth's caliber.
I really like the image where the seafloor is showing some reflection of the sun. Yeah, something like that. It's After Effects.
The one I'm picking just now, or the one with the light
other
rays?
ones also. I mean, yeah, this one is fine. I guess you don't want to have it too much since it's quite low. So no sharp reflections.
So again, this is something that I can just drop in to wherever. Let me just collapse that lot up.
So Gareth, I suppose you won't have too much time to stream then. I think Gareth was planning on starting some streams, but if he has a new job, well then I guess that's not happening.
Has he responded?
Yeah, with a slightly annoyed looking to the side face. At least I think that's what it is.
Right, I think I'm actually going to gradient that out once I've got the... it's going to load landscape left as a selection by command clicking on the thumbnail. I'm going to go to my ocean floor underwater. Now, if I hit the mask icon, it's going to mask out the wrong bit. So I'm just going to invert the mask to do that. I can fix the other bits in a moment. Do you know, I think that needs a bit of teasing around before I go.
Yeah, this corner is really tricky probably to get it right.
Yeah.
Because it has to blend and...
Yeah, blend and bend. Tricky.
And
I mean, really what I should do is do that twice, you know, because of I turn on my grid.
yeah.
I should actually do something slightly separate there and mask away. Because the great thing is you can put a bit of vignette into these corners and that would work quite well. But just cut that off so it's not too distracting.
I wonder how it will look with the grid removed, because now under the black line you can sort of hide some of the imperfections.
Hold on, mate. Sorry. Yeah, I'll turn that off in a second.
No,
I can turn it off now, actually. There we go.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. But what I need to do here is to mask off those bits.
Maybe
then I can come in with something else.
Yeah, maybe that actually helps, just having no corners and just doing the corner shading by adding some shadows. And then you probably could also almost scale up the ocean floor image. So you can get away with that. And just do the perspective by adding highlights and shadows. Who knows? And yes, Gareth says he will stream one day.
One day I will stream. Becoming less thrilled with that. Yeah. The funny thing is, that's sort of working.
Yeah, I guess that's a bit... Yeah.
Go on, Tim. You were going to say?
Yeah, I suppose it has to be a bit darker. Maybe that would do it.
Yeah.
I still think that you could try scaling the image so it's actually covering both the left and right side of the ocean. And then just use some darks, shadows and highlights to paint in the corner look. So the actual
Okay,
image
then.
just goes through. And,
Yeah.
That would be
No,
at
I'll
least,
follow you.
That's what I would have done. Of course, you don't have to do it. That's just fine.
Well, the only thing I was thinking of there, Tim, was the angles, because if it goes across, let's give it a go.
I mean,
Let's just take. Go on.
You don't
I'm
have
going to
to
remove that mask.
transform it that much. You can just.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. Also, I don't know.
Well, you know what I should do? Oh, this bar. If I just move the bar out of the way, just a minute. If let me just come out of that for a second. Free transform. It's not going to let me warp, is it? Or is it? Is it going to let me add? I'm just wondering if I could get away with trying that and then bending that.
Yeah, because looking at some of, I mean, this obviously isn't the first version of like this concept of having like a cube and a world and ocean. And looking at some others, they actually just took an image of like a sort of a corner of an ocean part with some coral reef and
that's what I'm going to do,
rocks.
is drop some of that on top of it. I'm going to do that.
And they just put it right smack in the center and use shadows and highlights to
mask it.
show that
to
it's actually a
hide.
cube. Yeah.
I accidentally committed to the sort of thing that I was doing just there, so which does happen.
Oh well.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could get away with. Oh, it's still pinging at me. Why are you pinging at me? There we go.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I was thinking if I bend that around just here and try.
Yeah, you have to rotate that, I suppose.
Yeah, the only thing is the handles there are completely.
I think you can hold shift, select them both, and then just you should be able to.
Hold on.
Yep, so hold shift and
There we are. Got it. Oh, still moving the other point nearby. And for some reason, that is pinging away in my ear like crazy. I don't know why.
Oh, you have to hold down the option key to.
Option key.
There we are. So now you can put that one vertical, and you can move the other one.
This was the handle that I was trying to get rid of or get hold of. This one just here.
No, the option.
So for some reason, it's not targeting properly, and I do not know why. Still doing it. All right, I'm just going to bend with it and go with it, and then I'll mask out in a minute. There we go. I'm just going to live with it. That'll work. I can make that work. Speak to me, Tim say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it might have different on the edge pixels, on the edge corner points. Usually when you option click on one of the warp points in the center, you can actually transform them independently. But looks like the edge pixels don't do that.
Yeah. So I've also just changed the blending mode there as well, by the way. So what I'm going to do here is add a mask and invert it again.
Or just
okay, and then just go ahead and finish that mask. Yeah. I'm going to drop some. I am going to shade it.
Well, there we are.
But I'm just trying.
Pretty sure that.
But I'm just trying to clean this bit up first.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah, we can do it.
Neurotic filters are perfect for this.
What's that? Neurotic filters. Yeah. I love the neurotic filters. I don't know if you noticed there, by the way, but I changed the blend mode to lighter color, which has sort of resolved that lighting that I wanted at the top.
You're crazy.
Right-hand corner of that side just there.
Puppet boy.
So what I'm going to do then is I am going to create the corner like so, just here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add an adjustment. I think what we'll do there is just deepen that side a little bit there, like that.
There we are.
I can always borrow again from the layer underneath, so it's handy to just be able to do that. Just be able to command click the layer that I want here, and I'm just going to use it while I work to kind of paint out in that region there the stuff that I don't want, and then go ahead and carry on working on this mask just to get rid of the rest of that curve just here that I don't need there. Oops. There we go. So getting some rocks would be kind of handy there right now. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Some coral reef, perhaps, anything like that, underwater rocks, so you don't have to mask.
Let's go for coral reef. That's a good search.
Perhaps that will be very colorful. Oh yeah, there we are. But the first one could already work. You could put that in the corner, perhaps. I don't know. Or the
it's got tons of little fleshes.
Could be mapped to the edge.
A quick shifty. I see. I'm more favouring something like that.
All right. Yeah.
Just using a part of that, I think, would work. Yeah, because that coral there, I think I could. I'm just looking for something that I could split across. This one here, actually, this one of the seafloor just here might work well.
Maybe you can actually get around splitting it, because, I mean, the actual coral reef in there wouldn't be, like, warped that way. I think you can get away by just using the shadows you just added.
Yeah?
And perhaps even some highlights to the other corner if you have time.
Yeah.
I think.
Finding a coral reef without fish is really hard. Oh, I found one. Brilliant.
Perspective isn't great on that.
No. Oh yeah, but I'm going to distort it anyway. So.
Oh yeah, that one below. That was super realistic. The that one, yeah.
What, the one with the angelfish?
Yeah, that's wow.
I love the turtle that's going yay.
It's like me after a Tony Harmer session. Yay!
I noticed you said after the Tony Harmer session.
Yeah, because I learned something.
Oh, okay then.
And because it's over, finally.
Yeah, because it's over, yeah. That's the thing. Right, let me just move this into my mini world group. Just they're so useful. That is what I'm going to do, is bring that in. I'm going to accept that as it is. I am going to select all of that and copy it. Go on, Tim. Tell me.
Requesting some dolphins.
Oh, that would have been nice to add in. Do you know, I've got to be honest, that thing where Photoshop wigged out at the beginning really threw me a little bit, that did.
Well, that's okay. I think
more than it perhaps should.
Perhaps we can ask another host to add in some dolphins.
It's not a game of tag.
Too bad Maddie isn't here.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh, that's
moving
nice. One like that.
Yeah.
Of course, there are many different ways how you could modify the images. You could also use content-aware scale to reduce the height without distorting too much of the proportions. Yep. Or just like this.
Yeah. So this has proven that exercise in using the vanishing point there was well worth it.
Yeah.
That will work pretty well. I think if I bring that down in the stack.
What are you going to do about the edge of that coral reef?
I'm going to get rid. I'm going to fade it out.
Good luck with that. That's good.
What, around here?
Yeah.
Oh no, I could try. I'll flick through a few blend modes first and see what I can come up with in.
Because it looks
that
tricky.
It does look tricky.
Doesn't
I mean,
really
it's going to involve. It's going to involve a couple of different things, right? It's going to involve me
panicking.
No.
Okay, it's going to be involved.
Right, so I'm just going to switch to the selection tool and let's just go cycling through. You see that could potentially work. Let's just go through a few more. So that's,
of course, with live preview of the blend mode. I think on Windows you can even hover over the blend modes, and you can just cycle through because everyone knows he loves cycling through blending modes.
I see what you did there. Very good. Very good. I am just using the Shift key and the plus and minus keys there to work around those things. But I think that could work just there if I go ahead and mask that out a bit and just fade that in. Bear with me, right? Just bear with me. In this area here, I don't need any of that at all. So I can just go ahead and get rid of that completely in that region there. Switch back to my soft brush, because you'll see what you want to see. That's the thing. Yeah, of course, I say that if you were doing this, well, if you were doing this for the side of a bus or a billboard, you wouldn't attempt doing it in 90 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, I know. But this is somewhere where you might get away with something called double hit. And so double hit, you change the blending, okay, till it's sort of what you want. And then you duplicate the layer like that and it brings it back. And then you can basically group those two things together and change the blending mode, which is normally set to pass through, okay, to something that's more suitable for your target. I'm not saying it's definitely going to work on this one, but I'm just giving you an idea that you can actually go ahead and do that and do a double hit of it. And also, sometimes if you're trying to do a double hit and it's not quite working, it may be that you need a shield, okay, underneath the other items. And by that, I mean, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to duplicate this once more. Okay, here I am then going to go ahead and fill the bottommost of these with a color. Yeah, now it shouldn't really be white, but using the same method I did earlier, so Shift Alt Backspace to fill that. Can you see how it's changed it?
Interesting.
But this, so that's like a double hit method with a mask. And if I kind of change this back to something like that color, which is more sympathetic now, so it's just going to give that a green glow. So blue is probably going to be a better color for it. Anyway, you can, and that changes the way that the whole group there gets blended down with the result, because it's got like this mask.
I like that green one, but I guess we would have many superheroes at that beach if people swam in that water.
What, with the radioactive coral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
I do think that's
they're
too
requesting
big as well.
A yellow submarine, £5, and an octopus garden, £10. And I would request a hot air balloon, so we can rename this to Golden Age of Ballooning, £20.
Nice.
No, that was a bad one. But yeah, of course, you can go much further with this image. You can add a top part where you could add some clouds, a nice sky, and put it all in a glass box and have fun with that. But only in 10 minutes left. I don't think we can do
Is that all we've got?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, adding some haze and some clouds is pretty easy to do. Just mask it in. But, yeah. And Angus is saying top Tony tip. Tim and Tony's top tips.
Tim and Tony's top tips.
Corn
Wow,
rocket
super
launching from the
alliterative.
mountain.
What was that?
A corn rocket launching from the mountain. I wonder where you got that idea from. And then an evil villain's lair up there. Yeah. A waterfall.
Yeah. Spin that group open. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be the hovering art director, but I think that is possibly a bit too saturated in the blue department.
It is. It does need a lot. It needs a bit of work on there. I'm trying to
look at me backseat designing. Ugh, worst. Oh, Tony, why don't you do this? Like, do it exactly as I want.
Mate, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't
at
mind
all.
that.
That's fine. We haven't got a whale in there yet. We can't finish up without a whale in there. Ooh, rendered ones make it easy. Go on.
Could you filter by if they are isolated in there?
You can add that keyword.
No, I think just there's a separate keyboard for that in Adobe Stock. I think maybe on the filter I can. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I learned something yesterday that was interesting with stuff from Adobe Stock.
Go on.
And I'll show you that in a second. Let me just bring this whale in. Because I'm going to use that one with abandon for its sensor scale. So I'll bring that in. Okay, what I'm going to do is, so earlier I said I wanted to search for a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I determined that what I actually wanted to search for was a Cessna, like so. But if you add the keyword from, or the keywords from high, that's how you get a different angle.
Nice.
Yeah, on that, or on high, which I was dubious about searching, but I'll tell you how I discovered. There you go. That's something perfect just there. The way I found this was on the web. I was searching on the web. In fact, I'll go ahead and bring that in as a browser window. Yeah, when I get to the bottom, see more results on the web, and I'll bring this, the resulting window down onto this screen when it's ready for me to release it. There it goes. So if I bring that down here, like so. And so the thing to look at, if you're struggling to find the image you're actually after, okay, I'll look at that because it's added in those values. The %20 is a space, by the way, just in case you don't know that. If I do Cessna on high, when you go to a particular image, yeah, what you can do, I'm getting different results there, which is very, very curious. When you click on an image, look at the additional keywords that it's been tagged with at the bottom and see if that helps your search. Yeah, that's what I found.
Yeah.
That it's very, very useful to do that. But that is not the way I would have keyworded it at all.
And if you happen to find an image on a different site where you can't have the license, sometimes just searching using the image search on Adobe Stock can give you an image that's similar and that you can actually license. Oh, there we are. Okay. Just froze for a second while it was downloading. It's fine.
Anyway, let's get the whaling because we've only got 5 minutes, right? Is that what we've got?
That's correct.
Nowhere near what I actually wanted to do. also, that's
Hello.
going to be masked on that layer.
Umacorn.
Hello.
Umacorn just joined us. Welcome back.
Ah,
Tony is
fantastic.
working on a small island world / superhero sea / villain hideout. No waterfalls, no.
No waterfalls.
Where you could hide behind. And
Da,
right
da,
now
da.
we're in the final 5-ish minutes of the stream.
We are. We are. And I've got to go straight after because I'm on my way to Nottingham. And I'm changing the blend mode of a tool, not of the. So it's a handy way to work to just cycle through.
Yeah.
Like that.
And Jane says, say hello to Nottingham from me.
I will. I will. See, that's another one there where I'd actually add a masking layer underneath it. If I drop a layer down underneath it, and go ahead and make this selection, that's somewhere where I might actually fill that with a colour, like so, just to bring that out. So I added a small layer underneath here, took the selection from the mask, okay, and then just filled it with a colour. And as it happened, I had the colour of the ocean in there, which has worked very, very well for that whale. You can see it's in there. Nicely. Again, that needs a little bit of work doing it. Well, there's lots of bits that need a little bit of work. But I didn't get to the beach either. And I'm not talking about going for a swim. For once. So let's just try and take
now we know where the gold was buried. Yes.
gold.
That's right, Abby. And Sarah says, that brought it slightly to the foreground. Nice. Yes, just adding some elements floating around in the water. Of course, will add more depth and more fun. And if you had more time, you would most likely add some highlights, perhaps here and there to the whale or to the ocean floor, to the corners, just to tie it all together. You could add some overall color grading using Camera Raw, for example. Add more objects like bubbles, waves, light rays, dense flares, clouds, haze.
I was going to add a cloud as well.
Well, you have 2 minutes.
I'm just using the brush as an eraser here just to get rid of those bits and that stuff on the side, just there.
Fire.
I'm going to search for a quick Kyle.
Oh yeah, you can search. And you don't have the concept brushes installed.
I do not.
That's a shame.
No, I should have used my other machine.
If only we had a website where we could get images of clouds. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be the big puffy clouds that I want though. You're going to get a whole...
Well, then search for puffy cloud.
I'm searching.
There we are.
Oh, there we go.
See? There's even a whole pack of clouds at the top. You could use them to make a brush if you wanted to.
I could, but I've only got 1 minute.
1 minute, 30 seconds. And Sean says, did I hear lens flare? Yes, quite right.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Right. Of course, now Tony is using either blend mode or blend if, however he wants to get rid of the dark background. And there we are. That's a mighty fine cloud, if I do say so myself.
It is a mighty fine cloud. There we are. something like that. I could use a bit of blend if on there, if you like.
Would help now since you removed the
No, it's not
background
going to
anyway.
help. No, it's going to just take away those bits. So there we go.
It would be a great way if you don't want a transparent parts in the middle of the cloud. You just want to take away the black. Because if you use like a screen blend mode, then the gray parts would also become slightly transparent. Or you could use your double thingy method.
Double hit.
Yeah, that one. Right.
Yeah. Any of those would work.
I think that's time.
Yay.
That's the end of the stream. Well. Any final edits before we switch over?
No, I think we're good actually. I will try and finish it and pop it onto the Discord when I get back from Nottingham tomorrow.
Go full screen for a second so we can see everything.
Yes.
Thank you. There we are. Beautiful. Lovely. Very nice. There we are.
Still work to do, but I'll get it done.
All right. Well, then let's switch over to the big screen. And with that, all I have left to say is thank you all for watching. It was lovely having you here, especially Tony, just talking about the amazing tips and tricks you had. That was a blast. And they're all saying thank you in the chat. They're saying thank you, Tim and Tony. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Jens. Thank you for the live stream. Thank you. So lovely to have you.
Bye, Hovering Art Director.
Hovering Art Director, hang on.
Think bigger, but keep it simple.
There we are. All right. Thanks for watching. We will be back on Friday with another stream. Until then, of course, you have all the US streams going on later today. That's all. That's it from us. Any last words, Tony, before we say goodbye?
No, see you soon. Take care. Stay safe. All of that stuff.
Right. Then, bye, everybody. No outro? No? Okay, there we Bye.